Hello, I'm Bobby Cinema. I'm here for another topic. I want to speak about Coolio's passing again, part two. You guys know about my first one, but I want to keep it. But I always want to keep talking about what he stood for back then. That he was an excellent rapper. That he never quit or gave up. I could talk about his Grammy Award winning movie, a song called "Gangster Paradise." That was one of his best songs ever. And also his theme song from Keenan and Kel. I could show you to you, but I think there's a copyright law about that. Showing the video. But right now, I can tell you one thing. Tell you one thing is that he won the Grammy for Gangster Paradise, and also got an American Music Award for it. I don't think tell you the truth, I think he was snubbed by the Oscars. Snubbed by the Oscars. I don't even know if that song even counted it as an Oscar, but deep down it should have. Cool. He was one of the best rappers in the world. Sometimes I was keep thinking about how he was going to leave his mark, how people remember him. A lot of times, a lot of people won't remember who he is. I know a lot of people won't think about who he is and what he stands for back then. But I'll tell you what. I know one thing you guys will remember him as a good singer. Some rap stars I know can make mistakes and screw up. Half of them you're usually arrested and been in jail, but you know what? When they got out, they'll have a chance to redeem themselves. Tupac, he died early, but you know what? At least he paid for it. You know what? Tupac paid for his mistakes, paid for his life, but you know what? He never gave up or quit. I hope someday that people were. I hope someday at least Tupac Shakur knew how to knew how he left his mark in the world. I know Tupac's been in trouble a couple of times, but the guys who arrest him, they won't be remembered, but they'll remember Tupac Shakur. You know, at least when he leaves, he will have his mark, like Notorious B.I.G. Time ran out for him. These guys died way early. Hope someday that when they died, they don't just remember the men who they are. They'll remember their songs. Their songs will live on. That's how they leave their marks in the world. A lot of times I always feel like the Hollywood Walk of Fame is a way to leave their mark. It tells them that they are winners. Even if you had a bad hit in bad movies, that the Walk of Fame always tells us that we are remembered, that we are gods, that we were famous for one day. Maybe they never got their stars in the Walk of Fame, but they should have, and I think they should have honored them in the first place. And it's on like they pay for it themselves, but they should have. Tina Fey should have got her star on the Walk of Fame, but a lot of times she should have claimed it a long time ago. So did Mel Gibson. The Walk of Fame tells us that we are somebody for one day. Even if we can make a couple of bad movies or screw up, but you know what? The Walk of Fame that seals us that we were famous for one day, that we were honored. They're like Kobe Bryant. Everyone's going to honor the man too. You know what? He's been through. He made some mistakes too. The only thing he was ever guilty of is adultery. And he, you know what? He paid. You know what? He got through it and made it and make up for it. And he fought really hard to earn people's redemption. Do you know how to fight for redemption? His term is time. That's what Tiger Woods did. He made some mistakes, but you know what? How he redeemed himself? Time. Just keep going. Keep moving. People will forgive you. Maybe some, maybe forget, maybe not, but you got to give them time. They can put out a speech and apologize. It's kind of weird, but even if a celebrity apologizes, it's still not enough. The media still wants to give him negative attention. It's like Donald Trump. He could apologize a million times, but I don't think a lot of people want to accept it. And they should apologize. And you know what? They should accept his apology. But I'm staying neutral about it, so it's better off I don't say anything about that. You know, even Nixon apologized a million times for Watergate. You know, some people may forgive him, some don't. But one thing I did know is, you know how he redeemed himself? Is time. Time is the only way you can forget. Is the only way you can earn redemption. Means we wait. Anybody can make any mistake in the role, even ex-cons when they get out of prison. Do you know how? They may have take like voting. They have to wait until their time. They had to wait until their probation or their sentence is up. But once they're done, and when they live in regular society, do you know how it works? Time works on everyone. It's like when you're about to marry it's like you're about to marry somebody and their in-laws don't even like you. Even their future father and mother-in-law won't even like you. You could be an ex-con or a billionaire, or you could be 10 or 20 years older than her, and they will still never like you. You could be 1 or 2 years older than her or the same age, and they still hate your guts. But I can tell you one thing is, it's time. Time takes. You give them time, even though if they still hate you in 5 or 10 years. Sometimes I think way deep down they will respect you. And other times, you can respect them, and they'll respect you, and you respect them. That's how Coolio is going to be remembered. And yes, he's been in trouble with the law a couple times, but you know what? He fought, and you know what? He made up for it. Any rapper I know can make mistakes. Heck, even just like Tupac, he made mistakes, but you know what? He got through it. And even when he died, he got through. He earned it. That's one thing about celebrities when they pass away. It's not about what they stood for. It's about how they leave their mark and how they were remembered. They be remembered as how they honored, even if they were good or bad. They'll be honored as men. It's like Rodney King when he passed away. He fought for you, just like Martin Luther King Jr., he fought for civil rights too. He's been treated badly. And yes, he made mistakes too. But you know what? You know what he did? He fought, and he didn't give up. He earned the public's trust. And you know how he did? Time. Even if he made mistakes and they hate his guts, but he had to find a way to earn their redemption. Get his redemption and earn their trust. Do you know how you earn their trust? It's time. You could screw up a million times. Even take like Superman. There were times in my life he made some mistakes too. But you know what? How he got through it? Time. Want to earn their trust? Is to give them time. They will forgive you, and they will earn your redemption if you keep fighting for it. Residents can make mistakes, can screw up. They can make one bad decision that can mess up a country. Other presidents aren't exactly popular when they send the Oval Office. They can make sometimes they can make a lot of good decisions or bad decisions back then. Even when they leave office, their popularity is always going to be way down. Not Ronald Reagan. Heck, even with the Iran Contra affair, there were times in my life he was almost that close to getting impeached or kicked out of office. But you know what? He got through. How he got through it. How he earned the public's trust. How he redeemed himself. Time. That's what gave him. He had to prove to him every day that he could earn their trust, that he could be forgiven. But you know what? At least they'll remember who Ronald Reagan is. That he was a good man, a great guy. I know a lot of times he doesn't even act. He may look the conservative type, but he never acted. I was thinking his wife is always the one who was always run the day-to-day operations, but Ronald has always been the one people. We listened to Ronald Reagan, and what he knew was right, and what he stood for back then. He had to make a lot of tough decisions. Mostly, he always had to listen to his political advisors all the time. But he was always a smart businessman. But he was always been a good actor and a good leader in California and the USA. He made the '80s proud for us. Ronald had to make Ronald Reagan had to make a lot of tough decisions. The only family members left is his two children, and I think too bad they couldn't just produce a. Too bad not one of them can produce a kid. I don't think they didn't want. I don't think they didn't want to have children. Well, even his other children, they have grandkids, but they're not exactly perfect either. And I don't think they have the Ronald Reagan gene, but mostly Ron Jr. He was the best. He was a smart kid, but I don't think he didn't have the drive like his father had. Well, even there were other unpopular presidents like George W. Bush. He ran the office. He ran the country for 8 years, just like he did in Texas. He lost elections, but you know what? He never gave up or quit. Just like Barack Obama. Even though he was popular in the beginning, but after his time in office, he was unpopular. He made some bad decisions or some good decisions, but you know what? He didn't give up. He didn't quit. That's one thing about presidents. Even if we can make a good or bad decision, it always affects the country every day. One thing they can never do is make a law. Only laws they can do is pitch the laws. Anyone can he can pitch any law in the rule. He can pitch any law to Congress at any time in the Senate, and all they had to do is all the president has to do is lobby it, and it'll be up to the Congress to make it a law. If they say yes, then it goes to the Senate. Once the Senate says yes, the law passed. It'll be up to the president to keep it or veto it. Veto means it's gone. It's it's not going to happen. But if he keeps it and it says yes to it, it will be a law, like the Roe versus Wade law. You want the Roe versus Wade back. Right now, we got the Congress passing it. Have the midterm elections, like I spoke about. We need 60 senators, Democratic senators, back on this and to make the law happen again. I can't do it. Even if I vote for the Democratic senator, he'll probably lose. Besides, some say it's practically impossible to get 60 senators aboard, no matter how much we publicized or make it happen. One thing you should know about laws, we can make them, but it's not easy to pass them all the time, and it's not easy for guys like Joe Biden to approve them all. Heck, they can make bad laws, but Joe Biden has a right to get rid of it. Just like if you're the mayor just like the mayor or the governor, they're the ones who makes the laws. They're city councilmen and also senators or house and state country and the state can make any law they want, but they need the governor and the mayor's signature to prove it. And if they veto it, just like the president, if they veto the law, it's out. It's gone. Benito. So just like Coolio's tribute, right now I think they're going to make a tribute of him. I know it's not going to be big as like Michael Jackson is because, heck, I don't know how many songs were big hits, but he had. But there was a couple big. But there was one big hit people were gonna remember of him. It's called "Gangster's Paradise," and no one's gonna forget about that. About him in that movie. About that song. That's all I have to say right now. I'm Bobby Cinema. Goodbye and good luck.